Hey, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to my Ikaris Eternal Connections video, where we're going to be talking all about the upcoming Ikaris event that will be going live at the store reset later on today. Now, I want to say up front that we don't know exactly how long the milestone itself is going to be in terms of total amount of points, but this video will help explain the event and also give you an idea of what amount of work will likely get you towards the end to clear this milestone and pick up those rewards. They've been nice enough to give us the points for each activity. You know, maybe sometime soon they might start sharing the milestone itself more in advance. We've seen that in previous events, but, well, we're not seeing that here, so that we could have a better look at that. But that being said, I am pretty confident with my math, and it looks similar to the Lady Deathstrike event in terms of its composition with a bit of tweaks. So sit back, relax, and let's get the show on the road. Okay, so we're going to start things off with the blog post from Friday. This is the magic blog post. We're going to scroll all the way down to where it talks about the Eternals Connections event, because that's important. So scroll past the Infinity Feast, which, by the way, is ongoing. We're not here to talk about that, but, well, you know, pretty interesting event. Eternal Connections alongside Infinity Feast, both of them are going to be simultaneous, so this goes live at the store reset and how we're going to recruit Ikaris, rather. So there is this Eternal Spirit and Event store, so earn Eternal Spirit event currency via this Gift of the Celestials milestone and the Endless Power Milestone Leaderboard. So that's going to be a little bit different, and I want to say that there will be an update later on after the store reset, just to go over the Endless Power Milestone Leaderboard, also just to see if there's anything that's unusual, things that are different than what I'm saying here, for you guys to know, you know. So I did that for Lady Deathstrike, so I'm going to do it again here. We are also going to get the Hawkeye costume, which, by the way, isn't very cool. So this is the Hawkeye costume here. I just wanted to raise this really quickly, because if there's a, you know, if you guys remember from the Lady Deathstrike event, they had whether or not you would pick Lady Deathstrike shards or the Venom costume. In this case, I don't know. If there's a choice between Ikaris shards and the Hawkeye costume, please, please, please choose the Ikaris shards, not this Hawkeye costume that is just a waste of time. I mean, costumes in general can be seen as a waste of time, but this one in particular for Hawkeye, who you're definitely not going to be using, I don't think deserves those those bit credits. But let's talk about the Gift of the Celestials milestone, because that's what we're going to be talking about in the math. So they do talk about it. It is a 2-day milestone that repeats for 14 days, meaning there's going to be 7 iterations of this milestone, and you're going to be rewarded with a whole slew of stuff, including the Eternal Spirit event currency for the event store, teal catalyst parts, orange and purple gear, and they tell you how you're going to get the points. Now, how this has changed from the Lady Deathstrike event is that they've included war. It's not a lot of points, it's like 50 points per battle, and you only do 3 wars a week. So there may be some times where you might not actually get war points, or the war points, you know, it might be a bit weird with the timing depending on when your war is. So I sort of calculate that in a little bit, but you'll need to take that with a little bit of grain of salt as well, because it's hard to necessarily, I'm assuming that you'll get at least 1 war in per a 2-day milestone, but there's going to be 7 2-day milestones and 6 wars over 2 weeks. So there may be an instance where you won't get points for that. So I just wanted to raise that in advance. It is a lot of blitzing, not gonna lie. Just like the Lady Deathstrike event, you're gonna be doing a lot of blitzing. You're already doing a lot of blitzing for the Thanos giving blitz, so you know there might be a way that you can do a 2-for-1 here. But yes, there's gonna be blitz, blitz, blitz. You're going to be blitzing your ass off a lot, just like you already have been for the Ultron event, things like that. So you should be used to that by now, but it still sucks. You know, it's not great. They've also reduced the amount of points that you get from the arena and raid as well, making you more reliant on blitzing than you did in the past. And I'll bring up the percentages in terms of, you know, what the activities are worth in terms of the overall milestone. It's kind of interesting to see. Also, when you compare it to the Lady Deathstrike one, I'll have those side by side as well, so you can kind of see the differences. Now, there is a little bit of unclarity, that's a bad word, things that are unclear is a lot of people are saying that the Ikaris shards is only going to come from the Endless Power Milestone and Leaderboard. Now, because this is technically, if you were to search Ikaris shards or shards even, the only place this pops up outside of the Thanos giving, of course, is here at the Endless Power Milestone Leaderboard and earn Ikaris character shards. This is the only part of the section where it shows that. Now, I think this would be very, very, very unusual and strange if this is the case. I honestly think that they missed something in the blog, and I think that you will find Ikaris shards in the store. If you don't, I will, like I said, I'll be doing an update video after the store reset tomorrow, and I'll go over this and I will blast it if it isn't. If the shards are only in this Endless Power Milestone, I'm not going to be happy, but I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, at least for now, and assume that there was a F-up and that you will find them in the event store. So this one here, this Endless Power Milestone Leaderboard, this is all about just spending energy. So realistically, I forget the number off the top of my head, but I think you can only daily spend about 1,000 energy in your 50 core resets, roughly around there, without dipping into 100 cores or extra spending in that case. So we're not going to talk about that too much right now, but I just wanted to raise that there. Otherwise, we have the Eternal Spirit and Event Store, which is where I'm expecting a lot of the Ikaris shards to come from. That and the actual milestone, I believe no, actually, it might come from the Gift of the Celestials milestone. Again, it's not super clear where the shards are coming from. That being said, I do expect that there will be at least a 4-star free-to-play obtainable Ikaris. I want to think that that's going to be the case. You know, if you do all of your stuff, if you do all your milestones, then I would expect that with the currency and with this Endless Power Milestone, unless it just doesn't make any sense, right? Because the leaderboard, the fact that they're having a leaderboard on just energy spending seems a bit strange to me, because there's only so much you can do with your daily energy that's not spending, right? So to earn Ikaris shards solely on this, to me, it doesn't make sense. But we'll take a look at that in the update video later on. So let's swap on over to the math side of the video, and we're going to take a look at what you can do and the average amount of work that you'll need to put in to probably clear this milestone. Okay, so since we know that the Endless, and whatever it's called, the Endless Energy Milestone is only for energy spending, we're not going to be talking about that. What we're going to be talking about here in this section is the Gift of the Celestials milestone that I talked about, the 7 2-day milestones, which is going to be for a total of 2 weeks starting at the store reset time. Now, just as a heads up, the Lady Deathstrike milestone was actually 3,500 points, but it was daily. Now, we're going to talk a little bit later why I'm suggesting that maybe the total points for this milestone might be around 4,500, because we're going to show the Lady Deathstrike milestone as well and how it's changed a little bit. So, in terms of your total points that you're going to get through this, Arena win or loss is 30 points. Now, this is down from the Lady Deathstrike event. So, if you do all 5 of your arena attacks daily, you're looking at about 150 points. Now, a war battle, this has been added in, so it's about 50 points for that. And hypothetically, you know, if you do all your 10 free war battles, whatever you do, you know, that'll be 500. And we're going to talk about that when we go into the scenarios. I've set up 3 different scenarios, whether or not you do kind of do minimal amount of work, which probably won't clear the milestone for you, an average amount of work, and then a lot of work for this. So, I do want to say that since there is no ranked rewards for this, you know, for the Gift of the Celestials milestone, you know, you would only need to do a lot of work as much as it pertains to actually clearing it. But raid attacks, you get 20 for that. Now, this is also down from the Lady Deathstrike event. So if you did, like, let's say 16 raid attacks over both raids, that would be about 8 attacks a day, and you would get about 320 points for that. Now, what's different between this and the Lady Deathstrike event as well is there's only 21 Eternal Connections characters. There were 31 Pierced Veil characters previously. So you're going to need to do a lot of blitzing, but you're going to need to do a lot of blitzing with these characters to get some bonus points. So you get 12 points for winning any blitz sim, but you do get an additional 7 if you're running those characters. So if you were hypothetically doing an Eternal Connections team, you would get 47 points per team rather than 12. And we're going to go over the characters later on as well. So 4 Eternal Character trait rotations is about 188 points. Now, Ikaris is included in this, so you're probably not going to have them unlocked unless you paid. So for that reason, you're only going to have 4 Eternal characters, Eternal teams, but I did add an additional 7 points for Ikaris on this total points per rotation. Now, by doing the rest of your teams, now that's roughly going to be about 30. I think there's maybe 35 total teams. 30, 31 plus the 4 teams, I think. I don't know how many full Blitz teams you can make now. I think it's about 35 total. So I've included that here. And these are the amount of points that you're going to get through a full rotation of your entire roster, assuming you have the majority, if not all of them, unlocked. So I think I subtracted Omega Red and Ikaris. But I think other than that, this is kind of the amount of points that you're going to get through one Blitz rotation on Simd. We're not talking about manual blitz. I apologize for anyone who still does manual blitzing, but for the majority of us, we don't, and we do sim blitzing. So what we're going to talk about now is the scenario 1, 2, and 3 here. So this is what I call minimal work done. Scenario 1. So if you do about 2 arena attacks a day, just to get your objectives done, you're going to get 60 points for that. If you do 6 war battles, now that's not all of your free attacks, but maybe you're very casual, you forget or whatever, that's going to get you about 300 points. 8 raid attacks daily. That's as much as you need to clear that daily objective as well. That's going to be about 160 points. That's going to be 20 times 8. Now, if you do 2 Blitz Sim rotations with all the traded characters, that's going to give you about 810 points, with total points over the 2 days is 2360. So how I came up to this was I just multiplied the Blitz, the raid, and the arena by 2, and then the war was not multiplied by 2 because you're probably only going to get this points in once. So that gets you roughly about 2,360 points if you do literally kind of like what I would say is the bare minimum amount of work for this. Now, scenario 2, this is where I think the milestone might end up being around the average amount of work done. The last time I did this for the Lady Deathstrike event, it actually ended up being very close to the amount of points that I suggested for this. So 3 arena attacks daily, that's going to be about 90 points. 10 war battles, that's all of your free battles, that's 500 points there. 280 points for 14 raid attacks, that's about 7 raid attacks per raid daily. And then 4 Blitz Sim rotations with a trade gets you about 1,620 points. Now, like I said, the total points over the 2 days, take all of this, multiply by 2, except for the war battles, and you're getting 4,480. So that's why up here you can see I said 4,500 question mark, because I think very likely it's going to be something around this points. Because when I did it for Lady Deathstrike, and we can bring this up really quick, I have this here, it was 3,436 points that I had for the scenario 2 average work done. And the total points required for that milestone was about 3,500. So it wasn't too far off with what was required there. So back to the Ikaris event, though. I did a breakdown. I did a breakdown on the percentage of how much the activities are worth. So I'm going to compare this with the Lady Deathstrike as well. So Arena for this scenario 2 is actually only worth about 4% of the total amount of points from here. Now, War is worth about 11%, so you're getting a fair bit of points here. So if you do a couple of extra attacks, beyond the 10, that's great, you'll get some extra points. The raids are worth about 12.5%. Obviously, if you bump up some more raid attacks, you're going to get a little bit more score. But where you're getting a significant chunk of these points, 72% is from Blitz. So that's where the majority of the points are coming from in this event. Unfortunately, it's Blitzgiving. We have Thanksgiving, it's Blitzgiving. Blitz all around us. There's the Thanos giving Blitz, there's the Eternal Connections blitzing. This is all blitzing. Blitz your head off. By the end of the next 2 weeks, we're going to be brain dead because of all this blitzing. That's just how it's going to be. So, scenario 3. Now, I don't think you're going to need to do all of this much, but you can see this is the sort of what I would call the more maximum range of the points that you can get. Free, essentially. So 5 arena attacks, 150 points, 14 war battles, that's if you, I guess, spend the extra war battle credits. 20 raid attacks. A lot of people do that. That's 10 each per day. If you get in really early, that's 400 points there. And 8 Blitz Sims rotations. That's literally the maximum that you can do, free to play, I guess, without spending Blitz charges. 3,240 points to a grand total of 8,280, multiplying the other parts by 2. So that's a lot of points. I realistically don't think it's going to be that high. If anything, it could be as high as 5,000 and maybe a little bit more of the average work done, but I was pretty confident with the math that I did in the Lady Deathstrike event, so I think it's probably going to end up somewhere around there. Now, looking back at the Lady Deathstrike event, I did this just for curiosity's sakes. So in terms of the total amount of points in my math here, 69% came from Blitz at this time because we didn't have War, it was just Blitz, Raid, and Arena. So 20% came from Raids, and 10% came from Arena. 10.5% came from Arena. So what this tells you when you go backwards, you're getting a little bit more percentage on Blitz, but now that War is included, Arena has dropped, and Raids have dropped as well. So you're kind of adding in those points from War, but then it's being shifted downwards. Arena's worth less, Raids worth less, in order for War to be worth a little bit more. That being said, you can only do these wars, once every 2 days roughly, but there's only going to be 6 wars and there's going to be 7 milestones. So there will be a case probably where you might not be able to do a war. So keep that in mind, that you might going to have to do a little bit more blitzing on some of those times in order to make up for those points. So hopefully this helps. Like I said, I'm estimating about 4,500 points for the milestone. Let's see if I'm right or not. We'll be doing that update video later on at the store reset time, so we'll see, and I'll go back and kind of compare and see if I was right or not, just for curiosity's sakes, in case these events pop up again. The last part of this video, I want to talk about the Eternal Connections event characters, and I want to also go through my Blitz teams that I'm doing in case you want to push some Blitz charges extra when you combine the characters, the best sort of combo of characters for these 4 teams that I think are worth it. Okay, so here we have the Eternals Connections roster. Now, what's interesting is the characters that are available. So there's 21 total characters. The odd one I left out when I made my Blitz teams was actually Iron Man, and we'll find out why when I actually put these characters together. So you'll see some common faces. You'll see a little bit of Pimtech here with Ant-Man and Wasp. You'll see some Avengers: Hawkeye, Captain America, Hulk, Thor, and I think that's it, actually, in terms of the Avengers. Oh, well, Iron Man, I guess, as well. You have some Weapon X with Lady Deathstrike and Silver Samurai. You have Cloak and Dagger. You have the full Black Order, interestingly. Thanos, Ebony Maw, Corvus, Proxima, and Cull. Black Bolt, he's a bit of a lone wolf here. We have Kestrel, and then we have Cersei and Ikaris and Silver Surfer. So what I have done is, in terms of after you've done all of your Blitz, or you've done your Blitz rotation, but you want to just push those points a little bit further, what I would recommend doing is creating 4 teams of 5 characters of these Eternal Connections, so that you can push and win some more blitzes to spend your blitz charges in order to collect some more points for that milestone. This is very similar to what I did for the Ultron event, the As Seen on TV event. You guys might remember if you watched that video that I put characters together for those traits so that you could do that. Although the points for that one was worth significantly more than this one is, so don't feel that you have to do it if you don't want to. But I just wanted to share my blitz teams. I created 4 blitz teams for this event, specifically at the bottom. Now, first off, we have what I call Pimtech, or Ant-Man Wasp, Cloak Dagger, and Kestrel. Now, I feel that Ant-Man and Wasp really needs the help if you want to win a Blitz battle, so that's where I did that there. Now, the other Avengers characters I put alongside Black Bolt, so this is going to vary whether or not you have these characters. So for early and mid-game players, you might not actually have all of these characters available, and fear not, you know, it's not the end of the world, but it does mean that you might need to Blitz a little bit more if you don't have these characters unlocked. But if you do, for those who have all of the 21 characters or 20 characters unlocked, if you don't have Black Bolt, shove Iron Man in here if you have him, and that's okay too. But I thought that Black Bolt would help them win a little bit better, because as far as winability on the Wave 1 side, they're not super amazing, especially against some of the newer characters here. So I just wanted to point that out. The Black Order, you can put the full team together here. So like I said, an Eternal Connections Black Order team, that's interesting, and they're all available for you there. So that makes sense just to put them together. The 4th team here, I have Silver Samurai, Lady Deathstrike, Cersei, Ikaris. Now, you might not have Ikaris, because if you didn't unlock him early, then you're not going to have him yet. You could slide Iron Man in here, but afterwards I would, or slide Black Bolt, sorry, out of here. I guess you could do that too, and then put Black Bolt up here in Ikaris' spot, and then when you get Ikaris, you could rearrange it if you want to. I put in Silver Surfer. Actually, I'm not sure if you actually need Silver Surfer to win. You probably don't need Silver Surfer to win this battle. Cersei and Ikaris would more than likely clear the field. You guys know how I feel about the Eternals. So yeah, that's just my arrangement of the 4 teams there. Feel free to copy, and if you want to copy these and use these yourself. Otherwise, Silver Surfer is pretty flexible. You could add them down here if you want and move some of them around. I just thought this was sort of the easiest arrangement to win, in my opinion. So that's what I'm doing with my blitzing. I'm just going to do standard blitz rotations, and then if I need to collect some more points, I'm going to use those Eternal Connections blitz teams to actually get some more points towards the milestone, if I need to, if I want to. You know, until I get the Thanos giving blitz cleared, I guess, or something like that. So, like I said, we're going to be doing an update video later on, just to see what the store is all about, to make sure that the Ikaris shards are actually available in that store, and it's not solely in the Endless Energy, or whatever the energy milestone is called, I forget already. So, I hope that it is. I hope the Ikaris shards are available for there. I hope that you guys can get 4-star on Ikaris free to play. That's what I think is going to happen, but again, that's why I'm going to be doing that update video, so that I can share with you guys my final thoughts on the event, and also take a look at the store, what's available in the store, and take a look at that energy milestone with the ranked rewards, and see what we're getting out of that as well. So that's the end of the video, everyone, and hopefully this helps you all get a better idea of what you're going to need to do for this event. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I will see you all later. Boilon signing out.